Well, you may be hearing about the above average temperatures that are headed our way as we head into January. I think that's going to happen at the end of the month, and it may not be as warm as you think. And there could be some surprises embedded in this. And I think as we head into January, we're in for a big change temperature wise, and it's going to get cold. Here's some of that really cold air, too. Look at it showing up on the infrared on Wednesday here across Canada. I mean, we're looking at temperatures below zero. You can see how it's just not moving. That's it. Your clouds moving in here with your storm across the west is bringing some snow. Your severe weather across parts of Tennessee, that's moving east through the day today. And then across the northeast, fairly quiet for now. However, we're going to watch this system bring some snow, and this one is also going to bring some snow to the Great Lakes, also the northern plains as our system drops like this. And is there a surprise snow on the way for parts of the East Coast later this week as we get toward the end of the week? We're going to look at that in just a second. All right, here's where we are again right now. We talked about our storm that's moving across into the west, that's bringing that heavy snow into the Rockies, also British Columbia, the mountains of Alberta. That's going to be moving out to the east. On the north side of that much colder air holds back at least until the weekend. Take a look at these temperatures. We're on the way down, way below average again on Saturday. I mean, look at this, east of the Rockies. And listen, back in November, I was talking about how as we head into December, we're going to be cold, below average. We've been that way. It has been way cold in the east, pretty warm across the west compared to average. There may not just be the snow that you've seen. So just because you haven't had precipitation doesn't mean we're not cold. And I think as we head into the weekend, it's going to be really cold across the Northeast compared to average. I mean, this is almost 30 degrees below normal here from parts of New York into the Northeast. A good 5 to 10, in some cases close to 15 degrees below average here in the mid-Atlantic. It does not last. Look on the backside of this. We're way above average, especially the further north you go. That's the thing. We will go above average. We've had warmer Christmases and weeks after Christmas heading into the new year across the country. However, there may be a day or two, especially here into the Midwest, where temperatures warm up a good 10 to 15, in some cases close to 20 degrees above average. But that's really up here into Canada. Otherwise, I mean, it's December. It's fairly chilly anyway, so don't expect shorts for some areas. I mean, I can't handle shorts in the 40s and 50s. Take a look at these temperatures. We'll take you through the next couple of days here. I'm going to show you the east just as an example because this is where the brunt of the cold air is going to be. We're going to feel it up across Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes as we head toward the weekend first. Also on Saturday, high temperatures, not getting very warm in many areas, and that cold air pushes all the way to the Gulf Coast. So Sunday afternoon, look at this, your highs teens and 20s. I mean, yeah, we've had much colder weather than this, but across the Northeast, there's where it's going to be cold. We may not get above zero in some areas in the mountains here, and low temperatures Monday morning, yeah, teens below zero in some cases. So pretty cold here. Your warm air starts to move back north. I want to show you how warm it's going to be as we get close to Christmas here. This would be Christmas morning as we head toward Christmas afternoon. I mean, look at this, 30s and 40s here across the Carolinas. I mean, that's not, I mean, you may be tougher than me, but I'm probably not going out in shorts and a t-shirt. Some of you are much more manly than me. I don't know. You laugh at 32 degrees up here in Wisconsin, right? That's a heat wave. So temperatures, again, not crazy cold. And then we may get a really warm shot of air here heading into the 26th and 27th. What I'm thinking, though, is on the backside of this, there might be a snowstorm somewhere. Let's talk about what's going on in the short term. We're feeling confident about this. The storm's moving across Tennessee today. As we head into the Northeast tonight, we're going to see some rain changing to snow here. And then there comes that next system that's going to bring the snow into parts of South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Then it moves across the Great Lakes as we head into Friday. Before we talk about that, let's continue to look at the Northeast, and then we'll also move back to the West in just a moment. But there's your rain to snow across the northern parts of New England and into parts of New York. This isn't going to bring a lot of snow over the next couple of days, or we're talking about, a few inches here. What I'm interested in is what happens after this, because an area of low pressure, again, that's moving in out of the northwest, is going to start to drop to the south and east. What happens here on the coast? An area of low pressure tries to develop. Does it get close enough to the coast? And I don't think it's going to be the low that brings the surprise snow, possibly New Jersey. It's going to be this area, this trough that swings through. Does it back enough? Does the flow back enough to put some snow into parts of New Jersey and New York City? I don't know that it does. This is the NAM model. I want to show you this because it's a little more aggressive at doing that right there. There's your buckle right in here, and that pulls your flow in just a little bit like this, and that could get you cold enough for some snow into parts of New Jersey, maybe even New York City. potentially Long Island. I'm not sold on it, but it might put a little bit of snow down. When we're talking about snow totals here, this isn't the big one. This is maybe enough to give you some snow. So if you're looking for some hope, I think it's there, but your big storm blows up off the coast and moves away. So maybe a coating to a couple of inches in places where we've not seen any snow. That same storm that we're talking about right there across the east is going to drop a decent stripe of snow across the prairies of southern Canada, dropping into North Dakota. Some places could see close to a foot of snow, but a good 6 to 12, I think, especially here into parts of northern North Dakota, into Minnesota, parts of South Dakota, and really northeast South Dakota. And then that dives off to the south and east as we head through Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. And again, that's the same storm that's going to form off the East Coast, and that a little bit of a chance of snow here into the northeast. Snow into the mountains here as we get cold into the Appalachians, and then some snow showers off the Great Lakes with the lake effect kicking in as we head into now Saturday and Sunday. Ridging across the west, snow levels going up, maybe some snow here into the Sierra, and then back here into the northern Rockies too, but across the far southwest, we're dry. And our next storm moves in heading into Monday. I mean, with this flow, your snow levels are going to be pretty high. Another system moves across the country as we head into Monday. Could bring some light rain and snow here to the Great Lakes, maybe some light snow to the northeast with some showers across the south as we head toward Christmas Eve. And then heading into Christmas Day, a little bit too warm for snow across the south. This could bring something here into the northeast, and I'm talking about Pennsylvania in the form of some mixed precipitation. Still way too early to look at that, but high pressure to the north of that, which makes sense, sort of wedging some of that cold air here as your flow starts to back out of the southwest ahead of our next system. That would mean a little bit of ice possible. Be watching that over the next couple of days. So if you like this content, come back and subscribe. Thanks, guys, for those of you who have subscribed. I do appreciate it. Let's look at the area of low pressure that's showing up on the models as we head toward the 27th and 28th. It might bring some ice to the north and east. Again, we're talking about way too warm for any snow in many areas. We're a little bit colder, though, here across the Rockies. And what about this? What's going on here? Are we going to see some kind of surprise storm? I think it's too early to pinpoint any type of storm in particular. I'm going to take the GFS out through that same period of time. There goes our 24th and 25th event that could bring a little bit of mixed precipitation to the northeast. The GFS is a little more aggressive, trying to put a white Christmas into parts of Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, northern parts of Pennsylvania. I think it's maybe a little too aggressive here, but we'll watch it here as we move into next week. But the GFS is a little bit different here, but it still tries to show these weird surprise storms. All right. And if it gets cold enough on the west side of that, you could see some snow. What you're not seeing is this huge Arctic connection just yet. I think that will change as we head into the next couple of weeks. Across the west, again, there's your storm track, just to kind of give you an idea. Look, you can see it's going this way, right? North into British Columbia and the very far Pacific Northwest. There may be some storms from time to time. Our next significant storm, I think, for the Sierra into the Rockies looks to be sometime Tuesday and Wednesday right now. Your heaviest snow, though, at least through Tuesday, will be across British Columbia, outside of the highest elevations here across the Northwest. Let's look at the upper level flow as we head toward Christmas. This is going to be why we're so warm, and I'm going to show you why I think it turns cold heading into January. And it's not because of anything crazy. The MJO is moving into a cold phase, which is the Madden-Julian oscillation, but also our upper level pattern is going to shift. This is a warm one, right? So what we have to watch out for is you've got this really warm ridge here, your polar air up in here. Does something sneak in underneath this ridge here? Right? Do you dynamically cool with some kind of system to see maybe a surprise snow on the west-northwest side of whatever develops here and then tries to move off to the north and east? We'll see. The pattern is starting to show a change, though, on the operational run. You can kind of see that toward the end of this. I wouldn't believe it if I didn't look at the European weeklies and also see that change as we head toward January. This is developing your ridge across Alaska with your trough in the east. That means it turns colder. That's all I got for now, guys. See you next time.